And time for Father Matt Frisbee and a sports roundup. So much going on in sports, the timing couldn't be any better. Good morning, Father Matt.
Oh, good morning, Dave and Ron. Good to be with you as always.
Are you Are you at the Olympics now? You sound like you're across the room.
No. I am in Ohio.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. No, I didn't make the trip to Paris, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that briefly, especially with Simone Biles. You know, announced her retirement, but at the same time, won a gold in something, won a silver in something, and obviously goes down as probably one of the most decorated women's gymnasts for the United States. And then, of course, announced she was pregnant, expecting a child.
Wow.
I didn't know any of that,
Didn't hear
honestly.
that, yeah.
I missed all of that.
Yeah. So that there's just kind of a beautiful message and all that, of course, too. I'm amazed that she could, it's one thing to go to work and expect a child. It's another thing to be doing what she's doing.
Yeah,
and
right.
Be pregnant at the same time. That's really amazing. Just really amazing.
Well, good for her, and I am thrilled to hear all that. I really had not heard that to this point.
Yeah.
Look at you, breaking news all over the place.
Yeah, breaking news.
I didn't break that. The other news broke it, and I'm just reporting what But yeah, so we've got that. All the other stuff at the Olympics. One of the big stories from the Olympics too, that Turkish man. There's like the air rifles or whatever, that competition.
Yeah.
And you see all these people wearing all this gear and these glasses and goggles and all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that Turkish man who won a silver medal, who just stood there with his hand in his pocket and wearing regular glasses while he shot the air rifle. A lot of people have been amused by that as well.
Yeah, he's Mr. Cool for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a little bit of the Olympics. And then, of course, baseball, and things are heating up big time in the realm of baseball, especially in the AL Central, which is where most of our listeners are going to be interested in. The Indians, Guardians are in the Central. The Tigers, also in the Central, sadly fading away. But the Indians, Guardians, they're up 3.5 games. Their lead has diminished here, but they do have a big upcoming series against the Twins later this week. They just split a series with Baltimore, very well. Could be one of the big playoff series, Cleveland and Baltimore. They split it in Cleveland. Cleveland did take the season series against Baltimore. So we'll see. I mean, things are really starting to pick up now. And it's a tough stretch of the season for Cleveland now.
Yeah, it really is. And of course, they dropped one to Arizona by the narrowest of margins yesterday. But they still
that was frustrating.
They still have the best record in baseball. With 67 and 45 record.
Yeah, that's right. Philadelphia had that top record for a while. They had a terrible month of July. And the other thing in baseball, we talk about the best record in baseball, AL Central. The worst record in baseball is also in the AL Central, as the Chicago White Sox have now lost 21 games in a row.
That is tough to do, too. I mean, that's almost impossible. I mean, you're bound to win one, in 21 games, but no.
Correct. That's absolutely right. They are on pace now to have the worst record since 1900. And if they lose, I think, 2 more games, they break the record of most games lost in a row.
Oh, my God.
I'm rooting for them.
And what about Cleveland? When's the last time this deep into the season that Cleveland is sitting with the best record?
Oh, in all of baseball? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That has to go back a bit, right?
It was the year before they put lights in the stadiums.
Well, 95 was a season that was shortened by the strike. It started later. The strike was in 94. But the Indians in 1995 went 144. So I think they had the best record in baseball that year. And you kind of think, how many games would they have won if they had played those 18 more games? Pretty
Right.
good team in '95 that was robbed by generous.
That's 20 years,
umpiring.
30 years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, 30 years ago. Hard to believe. Those were some good teams in the '90s.
And we see where Harrison Butker has just signed a very nice contract extension. NFL's highest paid kicker now.
That's right, the highest paid kicker. So certainly the Chiefs, it seems, don't have any problem with it. The other thing, speaking of NFL, and especially with the Browns, Brandon Ayuk, great receiver out of San Francisco for the 49ers, wants to be traded. And there are rumors that there's a framework for a trade with either the Browns or the Patriots to send Brandon Ayuk to either one of those teams. And now it just kind of sounds like, which team does he want to go to?
Always a lot happening in the world of sports, and we certainly appreciate your perspective on stuff, Father Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father Matt. Breaking news with Father Matt Frisbee.
God bless.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and we will be right back here on Morning Offering.